My ex-husband is upset that I've moved on so quickly. Original post. I, female 38, caught my ex-husband, male 41, having an affair the same week that I found out that I was pregnant. The blow was devastating. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Should I get an abortion or should I stay with him for the sake of my baby? I decided on getting a divorce and keeping my baby. Ex-husband asked for a second chance, but it just wouldn't do, so we moved out and in with his affair partner, female 25, within the month. I also started a new job with better pay but more flexibility. Now I'm becoming a single mother, but I had to work my butt off in the beginning to establish a good reputation before maternity leave. When I gave birth to my baby, one female, I was back at work after 3 months. Being a single mom with a career was not an easy task. I hardly slept or ate for the entire first year. I lost all my baby weight plus 15 kilos. More, that's 30 pounds for you guys. My ex-husband and I shared custody, but since she's still a baby, we are waiting with the every other week arrangement until she's 2. But he visits to see her 2 to 3 times a week. Mostly my mom or the nanny receives him. I just can't bear seeing him so frequently, especially when he brings his affair partner, now fiance, with him. The few times that I see him, he looked very oddly at me, asking if I changed my hair or compliments me on my dress or something. Yesterday, we had my baby's first birthday party. It was just the family and we held it at my ex-in-laws, with me, ex, his fiance, his sister, and my parents. Ex-husband was very irritated for some reason and was just there sulking the entire evening. After the cake, his mother asked him why he was acting like he did, and he said nothing. When I asked him if he was okay, he flew off the handle at me. He started yelling, telling me that I was the one who broke us. If I didn't let myself go and took care of myself half as much as I'm doing now, nothing would have happened. Everyone was shocked and he stormed out in tears. I know what he said was a load of bullshit, but it kept me thinking nonetheless. I've always been modest and rarely wore makeup. My style is basic black t-shirt and jeans, but I would never have said I let myself go. I do look differently now and wear dresses and more feminine clothes occasionally, but I wasn't aware that I have started taking care of myself more. I just feel happy and at peace with myself now, and maybe unconsciously trying to look nice because I want to start dating again. I feel guilty that he thought I was neglecting him. If I was, it was never intentional, and besides, even if I have started taking care of my appearances now, I couldn't look 13 years younger. The advice I'm looking for is if I just should continue ignoring him or talk to him about his little tantrum, if I need to explain myself and how to move on from this. He's staying in my life. I don't want any of these tantrums thrown at me in the future. Now for the top of comments before reading the update. I just feel happy and at peace with myself now. I don't know what you're looking for advice on here for, but I believe this is your answer. You don't give a lot of background information about your relationship with your ex-husband, but it honestly just sounds like the divorce did wonders for you. It doesn't matter if that is because of the divorce itself or just the fact that you naturally had to find yourself again afterwards, as all people do in that kind of situation. What matters is only that you feel good about yourself, and that's not something you should ever feel guilty for. OOP replied, yeah, the divorce did do wonders. I was surprised how well I could make it on my own, and I felt pride that translated into happiness. And now for the updates. Update 1. I can't find my old post. I must have deleted it. I'm going to give a shorter version here because I have had it with my ex-husband and I need help with how to act around him because I'm going crazy here. I, 38 female, found out that my husband, male, 41, was having an affair with a coworker, 25 female, the same week that I found out that I was pregnant with my daughter, 14 months. My husband was my soulmate, and this finding hurt me so much. I decided to get a divorce and keep the baby. My pregnancy was hard and I battled depression. The first year of being a mom was the hardest, but also the best year of my life. I was still heartbroken about my divorce, but I was adjusting very well, and I found a whole new purpose in life and another type of happiness I never knew that I could feel. I also started a new job. It was more work, but more flexible hours and paid a lot better, so it suited me being a single mom. I can say that I'm very happy and content now. My husband opposed the divorce and refused to sign at first. He wanted us to work things out, but I was also so in love with him, and that made forgiving him impossible. He moved on soon with his affair partner, and they're engaged now. I have, however, noticed that he really did not like seeing me thriving. I have full custody of my daughter for the first 3 years because we thought shared custody at her young age isn't fair to her. Instead, he comes and visits her 4 to 5 times a week. Often my mom, who is helping me with the baby, receives him. But on the few occasions I'm home when he visited, he would comment my looks and compliments my outfit or ask if I've done something with my hair, etc. I've lost a lot of weight. It was harmless in the beginning, but he became angrier and more annoyed with me, and at my baby's first birthday, he threw a tantrum because I looked good in a black dress. We celebrated at my ex-in-laws. It was my in-laws, my parents, my sister-in-law and her family, and my ex and his fiancée. My father-in-law told me I looked great. My ex was not happy about that. He started yelling at me in front of everyone, telling me that I broke us, and he stormed out in tears. This was a few weeks back. I asked him to give my daughter and me a break and not visit until he could be civil. He told me I couldn't forbid him from seeing his daughter. Now my ex-mother-in-law comes and takes my daughter to her place so he can see her. He came to my apartment yesterday to talk. He was basically angry because I could forget him and move on so quickly. I didn't know what to say. I just started crying and kicked him out. None of what happened was something I wanted or planned. I never wanted my baby to grow up in 2 different homes and to never experience the love her parents once had for each other. I have moved on because I want my baby to have a happy life, and that's what's making me glow, as he so resentfully put it. I want him to understand that we have to get along because that's the least thing that we can give her. He has moved on with a different woman, and I chose to move on with myself. How can I make him open his eyes? He needs to start thinking of her and put her needs first because she didn't ask to be born to this mess. Any advice is appreciated, save for getting back together with him. I have thought of couples counseling, but we're divorced, so I don't know. Final update. Thank you for listening to all my woes. Sometimes when you're immersed in your own problems, you forget that there's others who have gone through or going through similar experiences. I mean, my family has been so supportive, but I'm glad I dumped my shit here because, let me tell you, I have realized that I have been so naive and need to do a lot of learning about parenthood and being a single mother. I can never plan or control everything in my and my baby's life. I can only try, and whatever I do, there will be a lot of surprises and things that I haven't expected turning up happening, and it's fine. There's also no one right way to raise a child. I tried so hard to make things perfect because of the guilt that I couldn't give my baby the life that I thought that I could give her. I can't control or change my ex-husband, and I don't even think I have any right to do so. I can only change my life right now. He's being toxic, and I don't want that. I need to cut the cord and go no contact completely with him. I don't know why he's being like this, and I'm not so sure it would make a difference if I knew the reason. For both sake, I need to distance myself. We have shared custody, but because of her small age, we will be living full-time with me the first 3 years. That was the agreement. He will, from now on, see her at his parents' house instead of coming to my place several times a week and to stay as long as he wants. He is never allowed to talk to me outside of the subject of our baby, and only via text. Nothing about us or me, my looks, my dress, neither the positive or the negative, will be tolerated. For him, I'm a stranger now, and he has no right to do or say any of the things he's been saying and doing since the divorce. I have told him all of this via email because I don't want to see him. He asked me to meet, but I refused. He has written back that he understood and he will keep away. He has also apologized for stepping the line that he just still saw me as his family and he was hurt. I didn't answer. I hope everything is fine now and that he behaves. I also need to rid myself of the resentment and bitterness that I feel towards him. I loved him and I still do, and I am so angry and hateful towards what he's done, but this is life. People change and fall out of love, and it's okay. I need to move on. Moving on to story 2. New update to Am I the a-hole for breaking up my engagement because of what my fiance said about my mom? Original post. I, 26 female, am not from the USA, so I might have some grammatical errors. So my dad left my mom when I was only 5 years old. I also have a brother, 21 male. He left the country with his mistress and never tried to contact. We were really poor. My mom had to do some immoral stuff to get food on the table. She was a stripper and also sometimes pleased men to get money for us. She put me and my brother through school. I understood why my mom did what she did because we had no money and she wanted us to have a life better than ours. And I'm not ashamed because of it. I also started working part-time when I was 14. I was a good student, so I got a scholarship to a good university. My mom eventually stopped stripping when my brother got a part-time job too. She now only works as a waitress. I met my fiance Javi, 27 male, in college. This was my first serious relationship. We both loved each other. I never told Javi about my mom's past because my mom made me promise to never say that to anyone. I kept that, but it felt so wrong to keep this huge information away from my fiance. Javi knew about us. He only knew that my family was extremely poor. He doesn't care about that. He is a very sweet guy who always takes care of me. He even covered some of the cost of my brother's education as well, and even though I told him not to do so. My mom also likes him. That's why she told me not to tell Javi anything about her past or what she did for a living. So a week ago, my mom and I went to Javi's house to meet his parents. I didn't realize his uncle and aunt would also be there. Upon seeing his uncle, my mom's face went white as if she saw a ghost. His uncle also kept staring at my mom as if he knew her. My mom felt uncomfortable and said that she wants to go home. Javi was confused by it. But nonetheless, we left earlier than we anticipated. The next day, my fiance came to our place and he shouted at me that I lied to him. He said that I'm a gold digger just like my mother, and my mother is the reason why his uncle's first marriage broke. I asked him to explain what the hell he is talking about. He said that his uncle knew my mom because he was a regular customer of hers and often hired her for her services. His wife caught them red-handed and immediately filed for divorce. My mom was crying and said that she didn't know he was married. She never asked men about their marital status. I told him that he has no right to speak to my mom like that, and his uncle was fully to blame because he was a married man who was hiring escorts for himself. My mom has no obligation towards his marriage. Javi still blamed me and my mom and said that he felt deceived. He said to my face that he doesn't want to date a whore's daughter because I will probably invite men just like my mom. My mom had to beg him not to break the engagement. I am tired. If I do end up marrying him, my mom would always have to suffer because of it. I don't want that, so I gave him back his engagement ring and told him to never show his face. My mom is angry because she thinks this is my only chance to get married because no other guy would marry into a family where the mom works as a sex worker. But I think I did the right thing because I'm not ashamed of my mom. I didn't even want to hide it in the first place. I wanted to tell him the truth, but my mom refused it, so am I the a-hole? Edit. I need to clear things up a bit. Javi knows everything about my life. He knows my dad fled the country and we had to live in poverty because of it. He knows my mom got pregnant way too young. I did give him hints that my mom had to do some shady things to get by. He probably thought my mom stole things, but I didn't disclose that she was a sex worker. I wanted to tell him, but my mom said not to because she doesn't want this to escalate. Also, I never asked Javi to pay for my brother's education. He did it from the goodwill of his heart. I did promise to pay him back. I am not after his money. I do love him a lot. Even though we are broken up now, I still miss him. We have been together for 6 years. It's not easy to throw away those 6 years just like that. Now for the top of comments before reading the update. Not the a-hole, but boy, your ex sure is. You dodged a bullet by getting rid of him. You will find the right person for you. Give your mom a hug and be happy you aren't marrying into that awful family. I know that, and I understand why he is upset. Sex work is heavily criticized in my country, to the point even doctors refuse to treat them. I understand his family's stigma, especially his uncle was caught with my mom, so They have a reason to hate her. I hope that he would be a little bit understanding about her situation. If my mom didn't start working as a stripper, she would never have been able to send us to school or college. I do love him a lot. Oh, so you're to be a whore because of your mom? But doesn't that mean he is probably going to use escorts regularly? It runs in his family to be unfaithful according to his logic. Your mother sacrificed herself to survive and take care of her children. If your now ex can't understand that, have no compassion for the woman he knows, and after learning what really happened decided to blame her for the attitude of his disgusting uncle, then he is not a real man. Your mother is a queen, and she shouldn't be ashamed of that because what your genitor put her through and forced to give up her own happiness in the corner to take care of her children. Now your ex, rather than asking you questions wanting to know your side of the story, decides to take the side of his family and condemns you automatically. Even worse, he proclaims false accusations and insults you and your mother. He shows no heart or intelligence, just his true face, so believe him. Your mother is scared for you, but this guy is not the one for you, and he proved it. You deserve someone who will respect, care, understand, love, and have the heart for those who suffer and doesn't judge others so easily. Now, I encourage your mother to go on to therapy and to not let her past put a shadow on her present and future. When she will be in the process of healing, she should share her story. Writing her experience and telling her story will be a slap in the face of all the pain and suffering. P.S. You have all the time in the world to find the right man for you who will love and appreciate and treat people correctly. Now for the updates. Update 1. Hi everyone. Wanted to say thank you so much for your support. I never thought that I would get so much support from strangers than people from my own community. I was, however, expecting a lot of hate towards my mom considering her profession, but it is less than what I expected. I don't know if this qualifies as a proper update, but there have been a few changes. After I broke the engagement, I've been getting calls from my friends and Javi's family that I'm making a huge mistake. My close friends know that my mom used to be a sex worker, but mutual friends of mine and Javi does not know about it. So they are also questioning me if I ever did that. Javi did apologize. He said he got carried away by his emotions and he loves me. I love him too. I want to get past all of this. I know people have told me that I should not get married to this guy, but I was weak for the moment. Until he told me that he is willing to let things go and start anew if my mom does not attend my wedding functions. I was shocked. Weddings are a big deal in our culture. There are many functions and parties surrounding the wedding. How can he ask that I do not involve my mom? He told me that because of my mom's past, it would be difficult for his family members to be around her. He convinced his mom with difficulty about this engagement. Also, since his uncle is going to be there, it would only remind him of bad things. At that moment, I realized that I was never a consideration. It was always him and making his family happy. My family is beneath them because we are not from a respectable background and come from homes of sex workers. I stood firm and told him no, it is not going to happen. I will not give in to their demands because the way I see it, my mom did not do anything wrong. It is funny how quickly people will judge a woman based on her work that she had to do to feed her kids, but no one will come forward to help her in her time of need. Javi threatened that I am making a huge mistake by letting him go. I just left. I do not have the energy to deal with this. I think this news is spreading like wildfire now. I may have to move out of the city because if this news reaches my workplace, I know damn well people will ostracize me. So I might look for a job in a different area. Lastly, I messaged him saying I'm sorry for not telling him earlier about my mom, but I loved him a lot. I am sad that he chose this topic to ruin a 6-year-old relationship. I will be going to the bank and pay back the money he paid for my brother's education. I am still crying and jilted to say the least. Also, I saw that my post was shared in different religious groups bashing my mom, saying that I deserved it. Well, let me tell you religious fanatics, that most men who claim to be religious are not at all. My mom had many clients who claimed to be religious, including pastors and preachers. So please, before blaming my mom, look inside your house and your family. You might find chameleons hiding within your family too. Edit. People are asking why I am paying him back. It is because I don't want him to use it as an excuse to call me a gold digger who used him for his money. I don't want to be in his debt. New update. Hello, I don't know if you guys remember me, but I posted here like 3 months ago. I am so happy for your support and all the awards that you guys have given me. I wasn't supposed to come back now, but I think I needed to make an update on this. But first, I need to make a summary just in case you forgot. So basically, my ex-fiance disrespected my mother because she used to be a sex worker, and she did sex work because my sperm donor cheated on her and left her with his mistress to a different country. My ex-fiance was mad at me and my mom because his uncle used to be my mom's client and is one of the reasons why his aunt divorced him. Long story short, I broke up with him. Now to the real update. As I suspected, the news of my mom's old profession did spread like wildfire. Some of mine and Javi's friends literally cut me off because they don't want to deal with a sex worker's blood. I guess it is for the best because it shows they are not my real friends. My real friends stuck with me. This impacted my brother a lot. I know living here would make things difficult. My brother will be graduating soon. I advised him to look for a master's in a foreign country like the United States, Canada, or the UK. Because of this whole fiasco, I, along with my mom, moved to a new city. I took a transfer for my work. My boss, bless her heart, is the most amazing human being. She literally defended me. She told my coworkers not to bother me about anything other than work. My personal life shouldn't be any of their business. She has been so supportive of me and my family. She never questioned me or judged me. She transferred me to a different city on my request and even managed to find an apartment for me and my mom. She is like Michael Scott, but mature. That is the only positive outcome from this. As for my ex, he is seeing another girl his parents set him up with, but he did call the first couple of months to get me back. I had moments of weakness because I loved him so much, but the vile things that he said about me and my family just played like a recorder. I am still trying to heal from everything. I just hope I can get my brother out of this hellhole into a better place. People are freaking hypocrites and backdated. Nobody wants to change. Even people my age are so conservative. There has been another bomb that dropped on us. That is, my POS sperm donor family on Facebook and messaged me to meet. I don't know what the hell does he think that I am, going to forget those 20 years that we struggled because he was a coward, selfish snake? Thanks for listening. Now for the top of comments. It is always so insane to me how people like these blame her mother for doing whatever she can to feed her children and not the ex-fiance's uncle who literally cheated on his wife, as if she chose him as her client and not the other way around. It always shocks me that people will say that you're a gold digger and I don't want to marry a gold digger, then have a shocked Pikachu face when the gold digger breaks up with them, like, what did you want them to do? Grovel, beg, worship the ground they stand on, confirm the superiority complex that they're having, and make sure you're forever crawling in the dust just for the honor of being married to them. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you.